Hi, everybody. Welcome to What's Love Got to Do with it. Oh my God, I've got the zest of life in me. I'm just about to record an episode with someone that I love very much. She is my sister from RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World, season 2. And her name is Jonbers Blonde. She's a little Irish lady that I love very much. And we formed quite the bond on the show. We shared a station while we were getting ready. And when we were on our UK versus the World season 2 tour, we did become quite close as we were the last two up on the bus all the time. Why? Because I think the both of us share that mentality that life's for the living, and we didn't want to waste an hour of time together. So be that for better or worse for our sleep, who knows? But we survived and we made it. We had a great time. We've formed a beautiful friendship, and I'm very excited to share Jonbers with you. And Jonbers will be coming up very soon, but I just wanted to say hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us on the podcast again. It is a dream to be here with you, and I thank you all for listening. I hope you're having a fabulous week with whatever you're doing, and it's only going to get better because right after this we're going to have a lovely chat with Jonbers where she really dives in deep about a lot of things, and she's such a wise little woman with some great advice that I think you're going to take away from this episode. Without further ado, I'm going to welcome you to Jonbers Blonde right after this. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to What's Lost Got to Do with It. Today, I'm joined by my UK versus the World season 2 sister, Jonbers Blonde. I feel so excited being inside. Good, babes. I'm good. I fucking miss you.
I know, I miss you too. I feel like I haven't seen, because we didn't really get to see each other at the drag con this year. So
no, it was like 2 minutes.
Yeah, so I feel like I probably haven't seen you in so long. I miss this little face, little hand,
little hand, my little jumbies. I miss you, but yeah, we only had a 2-minute crossover at DragCon.
It felt like this one just felt. I think everyone felt like they were in like business mode. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. This time, and because I was like doing the Snatch Game booth, I was working with a production company, so I had to really like focus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to do. I really enjoyed this drag con. I thought it was really good just to like sort of.
I just wish I was staying. Were you staying at the hotel?
Yeah,
with all the girls?
Even though I don't really live that far, but it's just easier because the first morning getting up at 4 a.m., I'm just like, I'm not traveling from my house. Also, because my parents came to DragCon this year.
Oh,
Which is
cute.
so cute. And they like pitched up and sat beside my booth. But they stayed at my flat, and
Where are your parents based?
they're in Northern Ireland still. They're back in
County Down.
County Down, which actually I've been going back. I've been going back a lot more. Normally I would go back like twice or two or three times a year, just like Christmas, birthdays, whatever. But the past while, I'm just like, I just really enjoy going back to Northern Ireland now. Like I just feel, I don't know whether it's a getting older thing or like obviously my parents are getting older, but I don't know. I enjoy my time there. I feel like it's a sort of space to go and breathe.
Yeah, like have you been craving like family time?
Yeah, I really have. I think because I've slowed down quite a lot. Like it's the drag game. The biz is much slower than it has been in the past few years. I think that's just the way that drag has been. It comes in turntables, and it's actually been really nice because for so many years I missed so many events, birthdays, weddings, things like that, funerals. Honestly, for so many years, so it's nice for the past 6 months just to reconnect and go back to my roots.
Roots, yeah. That's the thing. We always sacrifice everything for us.
Yeah.
We'd like when people are having like public holidays or big events, we're generally there working.
We're working always.
So it's like you never really get a chance. And I've done the same. We sacrifice all those moments. And then it gets to that point where you're like, oh shit, I'm going to be like missing out on things. I'm not connected anymore.
100. I felt really at the end of last year. I felt very disconnected from myself. I've been going to therapy and stuff, and they said to me, "You've been at 100 miles an hour for the past 3 years." And my drag is an extension of me. I'm not character based, and so you do lose a little bit of touch with yourself because and especially being on Drag Race and being on television, people that come into your life or people that have been in your life, it's a little hard to find that balance sometimes of real life and drag life. And
yeah, it's interesting as well because like when we get invited to like events or PR things or whatever, like other influencers or other talent, they go as themselves, whereas
right.
we're expected to show up in drag and in glam. They want the Hanaconda, they want the Jonbers Blonde.
And they don't want to pay for it, and they don't want to pay for a car, or
Yeah.
they don't want to pay.
Oh, but they forget that underneath it, we're still just people. Like, and it's not just fun and games for us. This is our like livelihood.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually have been starting to go to a lot of things out of drag just because I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm the same person, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, even on Drag Race, we're actually out of drag more
than we are in drag.
more than we are in drag.
Yeah.
So really, they get to see the true us and what our personalities and stuff. Some of us.
Name them. Name them.
Name
Name
'em.
them.
I had a little Mayhem Miller joystick. Joystick? What do they call it? Like a little.
Oh, she gave them to us. What are they called?
Yeah, what are they? What is that? Incense.
Incense. Yeah, I brought my incense. So Mayhem gave us incense at DragCon, and I put mine in my bag, and I got home. All of it crumbled, dust. It got dusted while I was traveling around.
Like dust I fly.
Yeah, and my bag smelled great though. Loving my bag.
Thank you, Mayhem. I'm still enjoying the incense, darling. Are you quite spiritual? Do you like incense and do you do meditation?
I am more spiritual than I have been. I definitely, I believe in like spirit guides, and I talk to my spirit guides, and that's side of my religion and my spirituality. Do I meditate? Yeah, I think inadvertently I do. I sit in silence and I just think and ponder, and that's meditation. You know?
100%. I think, especially with our line of work, you think that it has to be that we're talking we talk a lot. Like our job is talk.
Yeah.
So to sit in that silence sometimes at the start,
it's quite refreshing.
It's quite refreshing.
I love it.
You're opening up doors to think about things you maybe wouldn't have thought about before. I'm speaking for myself.
Oh no, I agree. I think it's especially because you sometimes get so caught up in the rush of life.
Yeah.
And especially when you get into like circumstances that like you need to like deal with conflict or you need to sort out a gig or whatever, and sometimes it feels like a burden, but then when you actually sit on it, you go, oh, there's actually a different avenue that I can take rather than that straightforward one.
100%. And even with social media and everything, you're always like not only looking at your own life, you're looking at everybody else's.
Yeah, I hate it.
Oh my goodness. That's why I haven't been online a lot in the past 6 months, is because I stepped away from it because I kind of want to, some things have to be private, and sometimes going and enjoying your life, which I haven't really had I would say in the past 10 years. It's been a race of like literally of building your following so you can get the gigs. And I'm just like, for a while I just thought I just need to take a little bit of me time just to reconvene and be like, where am I at? What do I want from life? What do I want to do for me? Because we've been lucky
We've had a great run.
We've had a great run and we've done a lot of things. I've been very lucky in my life of dreams that I've had that have come true. And I'm still in my 30s. Still in my 30s.
God, just can't get rid of her out of her 30s.
Bits of me are in my teens.
But you started did you start drag out of working in the fashion industry? Is that how you got your way in, or did you start drag first?
No, I started drag first. I started drag because when I was about 17, I was living in Belfast and I was working at Tony and Guy. And
what did you call me?
That's a man. Tony and Guy. So, do you know what Tony and Guy is? It's
the hairdressers. Oh, that's what you said. I thought you said Toucan Guy, and I was like, who the fuck is Toucan Guy? Tony and Guy. Okay. I'm on board.
Tony and Guy.
Okay. Yeah, the hairdressers. Yep. Okay, I'm with you.
I was working with Tony and Guy. I was like 17 because I'd always worked in a hairdressing salon in my hometown, like on a Saturday. And my pay was about £450 per month.
That's nothing.
Babe, I don't know how I really don't know how I survived.
Ah,
I was living out of the family home and had been for about a year. I'd been hanging around the gay scene for a really long. I'd started going out when I was like 14, 15. I remember the drag show in Belfast was like a piece of theatre. It was huge down the street. It was called the Sunday. There was one called the Sunday Bingo Show, and there was another. I can't remember what the other one was called, but they were all bingo shows. But this place was rammed. It was like a theatre. And then the drag before Trudy Scrumptious and Titty Von Tramp, Tina Likes Tantrum, Lady Portia de Monte, all the like Belfast icon legends. And I just remember sitting there watching and being like, this is what I want to do. It felt the closest thing to being a pop star. Like that you could get to in growing up in Belfast back then, it was because even though we're part of the UK, it felt like you were the furthest part away in the world. We were always Northern Ireland felt very forgotten about, apart from all the conflict and the troubles.
yeah.
So yeah, so so there was a competition to be a part of the show, and I won it. The only competition I had won.
Bitch, I've only won two. I'm always a fucking runner-up.
Oh, at least you're a runner-up now.
Yeah, I know.
I remember I performed Lindsay Lohan's Confessions of a Broken Heart.
These are the confessions of a broken heart.
Oh my God, I love that.
How does it start? Is it talk about her dad?
Father,
Father, daughter, father.
That's a good album.
Yeah, fucking, it's a good album. I was listening to Rumors the other day. Lindsay Lohan Rumors. That has aged very well.
Oh, very well. Yeah.
Well,
Do you know what? All that music of the early 2000s, I feel they release it today, Bob.
Yeah, they're soundtracks of our lives.
We were really lucky.
Yeah, we did. We had great music.
We had great music.
Anyway, they were our MySpace statuses and our Facebook statuses. The lyrics.
I had Bebo. We had Bebo. We didn't have, And do you know what's really annoying? All of my like teens and all of that time period. All of that time period is gone. I can't get any of it. And
Probably for the best.
I'm glad there's some very suspicious pictures there.
So what did you win from this comp? What did you get?
So I won £1,000 and I won a weekly gig, which earned me, I think it was £150 I got paid per week.
On top of your Tony and Guy.
On top of my Tony and Guy, and that was working one night a week. And like, just for all you promoters out there, this was 17 years ago I was getting paid.
Spill the tea.
No more of this £150 for these girlies. Drag costs money, honey. So I was able to live. I was able to eat.
Fuck, it's so exciting. I love that. And then how did you get, because I remember on the tour bus we were talking and you were telling me about working in fashion and stuff. How did you get into the fashion world?
So when I moved to London, I was working. I was working at Harvey Nichols, and it became very monotonous. And I have really worked at Harvey Nichols. Then I worked for Balenciaga for about 3 or 4 years, and I'd done the buy-in for the men's section, and that was. I got to go to Paris. Got to go to the show. Then this is really
wow.
weird.
I thought I'd done something. I was like, what have I done?
I had started doing drag in London, and I was still working at Balenciaga at the time. And there was a Roberto Cavalli party. Like, they've done this big party. Battersea Power Station was still like at its old state. And so there was this really big do. And I left work to go to this Roberto Cavalli party in drag. And I had a lovely time. It was great. Got my photographs taken. And then I go into work the next day. And they were like, the manager wants to see you. But like the head manager. So I go and she pulls a picture out and I'm in drag and I'm holding a glass of champagne. And she was like, is this a picture of you? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, you were out drunk last night in drag. She was like, you left work to go into be in drag and be drunk. And funny story. And I was like, actually, that's just a picture of me holding a glass of champagne. And she was like, it's in your contract that you're not allowed to work for another brand. And I was like, I wasn't working, I was just attending. So they knew I'd been doing drag, and so they like navigated it for me to be fired. And so I basically got a payout from Balenciaga, and then I left and I was doing drag more. That what kickstarted me doing
Yeah.
more drag. I was getting invited to the fashion parties and whatnot. And then that's what I started, because I'd left Balenciaga, I went and got an internship at Vogue. And so I became the closet boy for Vogue International. And then I was working in all those shoots, and I was working in the Vogue office. And it was very lovely being a drag queen and sitting in a
Walking in all
room
those clothes. Oh,
of couture, and especially because I was working at Vogue International, a lot of their shoots were couture shoots. So
oh.
these clothes were coming in, and I was just
You just like
dripping diamonds.
it's
But to be around that, and because I was always obsessed with fashion since I was really young, and around that time, like in East London, like everybody was always out. There was a place called the George and Dragon, and we were out in the joiners, and all the
Is that like
designers.
East London?
This is East London.
East London,
And
yeah.
there was one night, my friends and I, we were DJing in the George and Dragon. And I just remember, and he also had his own fashion label, Jackie Potato in drag.
Yeah.
And we were doing this night. And I just remember looking around, and it was every major fashion designer and like model in London. In the pub, it was a little pub, but I just remember looking around and being like, wow, like
You attracted that.
7 years ago, I was sitting in fashion tech or college or whatever, and reading about these people, and I'm literally, they're all dancing to the music I'm playing right now.
That
I
is
was like,
insane.
so wild.
Was that like that would have blown my tits off.
It blew my yeah, it blew my tits off.
It would have. That is like, because I think, are you a good manifester? Do you think you're a good manifester?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Like the whole Spice Girls thing of being involved with Melanie
Oh my
C.
God, yes.
I manifested that. There's no way that obviously she is an incredible human being, invited us to be on tour with her. But if you put things out into the universe and you really like have good intention, it's all about energy. Like I really am.
Yeah.
People feel that it's all like
Numbers and social medias and all that.
But really, I do believe that I've seen my Drag Race. Like I genuinely always manifested, and I just visualized it and that's what I actually had a couple of conversations with Rue about that, about manifesting. And she was like, it's manifesting is true. Like it is a reality.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think like it's so clear like how you had these ideas of what you wanted in your life, and all of a sudden that moment where you're looking around the room and there's all these people that you have looked up at or seen or wanted to be around. There they are. Like,
yeah,
it blows my mind.
It's the power of the mind, and if you just believe it and really visualize it, you really can make anything happen. It really is your self-belief.
Yeah. Are you going through the era of just does what feels, wants to have fun, want to enjoy life again?
Love. Yeah, 100%. It's not to say that I'm working on things that I want to work on. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, I can see, because the energy that you have right now is not that your energy was ever off with you. You're always you, but I can see this light in you and this glowing, like that.
I feel really happy, isn't it?
Yeah, I can tell.
I think therapy has definitely happened. Therapy. I think therapy has.
It's happened. It's happened.
Therapy has 100% helped. I think just slowing down and taking time, and honestly, the power of no. And I genuinely just respect myself a lot more. And I've been offered gigs where I'm just like, that's not a respectful offer. I'm going to say no. I'm respectfully saying no.
Saying no. Yeah, not for me.
I'm sorry. We all grow as people. We all grow. We all have our fee. We should be able to say no if something doesn't feel right, or like we should be able to say no.
Oh my God, that's life. Some things aren't right for everyone. Yeah. I've been doing the same, but I can just see that light because of glowing from you, and it's really nice to see it. I'm just really happy that you're on this little magical journey, and it's so nice to see like the power of manifesting, because I don't think we talk about it much. And I think I inadvertently manifest. My parents have claimed that my manifesting skills came from when I was in my mum's womb.
Really?
Yeah, because they were doing this thing called, it was like the silver method of manifestation, and they were learning it when I was in when my mum was pregnant with me, and ever since I was a kid, I can make things that I want happen.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Are your parents quite spiritual as well?
Yeah, they're very new age. They're very open to, they're very journaly, like very much proponents of therapy. Like it's all I've ever done in my whole life. When they separated for a few years, like the whole family went into therapy. We did Reiki together. We went to do hands-on healing as a family. We learned how to do that. so I can heal you, Jonbers.
Now, Lizzo, heal me. Lay back.
I'll do the laying on of
Feast your
hands.
eyes.
This episode of What's Lost Got to Do With It is proudly brought to you by our beautiful sponsors at BetterHelp. All right, my beautiful friends, let's talk numbers. I don't usually talk numbers because I'm a drag queen, and drag queens and numbers don't usually go together. But when it comes to therapy, we need to crunch those numbers. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session. Crazy, and it adds up so fast. But with BetterHelp online therapy, you can save on average up to 50% per session. Oh, anything for a saving these days, I tell you what. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big time on cost and on time. Therapy needs to feel accessible and needs to be accessible. It is not like a luxury. It is something that should be there for all of us when we get into difficult times. So with online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense and can help you with anything from anxiety to everyday stress. Your mental health is worth it, and it is so important that you put in that time. And now it's all within reach with BetterHelp. I am an advocate for therapy, and especially doing this podcast where we talk about such deep things. You know, sometimes the mental strain can be quite difficult, but being able to talk it out with my therapist always helps me and sort of relieves the stresses of our day-to-day life. And I feel clearer and feel happier and get to go through life being as gay and as fabulous as I can. And I want that for you. So, with 3,000... Cut that. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, serving over 5 million people globally. It's convenient too, and you can join a session with just the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, you can switch therapists at any time, which is amazing. So if one therapist doesn't fit, feel free to swap and find the right fit, because that is also incredibly important, that you have a therapist that works for you. So, my listeners of What's Lost Got to Do With It, your mental health journey can start now. So visit betterhelp.com/what'slost today to get 10% off your first month. That is better, H-E-L-P, betterhelp.com/what'slost. And you can get 10% off your first month with BetterHelp. Your mental health and your well-being is so worth it, my beautiful friends. So go and visit our beautiful friends at BetterHelp and get your therapy journey on the way. We love you and thank you, BetterHelp.
The power. Do you have you been to mediums or palm readers or anything before?
Oh, yeah. Tons.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
I went to one recently in December, and it was the first time that I'd been to them a couple of times, and they have a few people in this place, and this lady she took my hands, and it was the first time that I'd been to them, and a person had taken my hands to look at them, and she looked at them and she was like, "Have you ever been told that you're a white witch?" And I was like, "What?" She was like, "Look, you have all the markings for a white witch." She was like, "Your intuition, your manifestation." She was like, "Do you believe whenever you manifest things?" She was like, "Whether it's good or bad." She was like, "If you think about something and have bad thoughts towards it, well, the outcome be bad." And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "That's because," she was like, "you have the power." She's like, "The same way as you have manifested things in your life that have been great." She was like, "From you were a kid." She was like, "You make everything happen." She was like, "But the same way as your intention of doing something that you think will turn out bad," she's like, "that's because of you." She's like, "It's not universe, it's you."
Did she?
And that was the first time somebody said that to me. And I was like, wow, I got into this point of being like, the universe is giving me space. The universe is, but it's actually, she was like, "It's not the universe." She was like, "It's you." She was like, "You're the one with the power. You're the one with the power."
Power of hoodoo. Voodoo. Did after that's like amazing. Did after she said that you're a white witch, did she proceed to tie you to a stake and burn you alive?
I wish.
That's what happens in England, isn't it?
No, I want to be a bit more tan.
How about crisp?
I just want a little light coat.
That is fucking fabulous. I live for that. I think we're both white witches. Maybe that's why we get along so well. Because
Could be.
we're just two little witchy women.
Because did you feel when we first, because we didn't know each other at all when we done verses, but I
No.
don't know. I just felt when I walked down that runway and I seen you, I was happy. I was just like, I'm gonna go because I'd watched your season obviously,
Yeah.
and I was like, I knew I would get on with you from watching you on your season.
Yeah.
But then when I felt you in the room, felt you in the room. This is the BC.
And you felt mine.
I was like that because that's what I remember. I instantly was just like, let's go together. Let's put our stations together. Like,
we had the best time. We were station sisters, and it was just like you're easy. I felt like I'd known you for years. And to be honest,
I felt exactly
just,
the same.
Just relaxed, comfortable. It was just a breeze and so much fun and I think that was even more cemented as well when we did the tour. Like you and I would both be the last two up.
Oh, we were.
We'd be sitting there, we having deep and meaningfuls. But I think it's the openness that you have. You don't holds barred, and I think I share the same thing. It'd be that a good thing or a bad thing at some points. Sometimes you say the wrong thing, but I think it's the openness that bonds people.
I think exactly what you say in there, and when there's no harm in the intention, you know what I mean. There can be intent to harm and no harm in intention.
Yeah, and it's just easy. Do you think did you learn that as a kid? Have you always been that sort of open book, or what were you like as a kid?
No, as a kid, I was very quiet. I was extremely shy. But I was an extrovert in an introvert's body. I would perform in my bedroom. What I would do is I would put a chair underneath the handle so that nobody couldn't get in instantly. And then I would put Britney Spears on, and in my head I was Britney Spears.
I used to do that, but Wicked. I used to do Wicked.
Really? Oh my God.
Yeah, I had a broom and a $2 witch's hat.
Amazing.
Amazing. That's so fascinating.
Like a kid, did you do when you were dressed for Halloween? Would you go in drag? Would you do drag?
Oh, we never had Halloween. Like Halloween isn't a thing in Australia. It's only been like the last few years that it's become a thing. Yeah, but we dress up. We'd always play. Like I was always dressing up. I like playing dress ups, but as I got older, like the theatrics and like my brother and sister would like to put on shows, I would sit back and watch. I was too shy. I was scared to be embarrassed. Then I started doing music, and then I think it was just because I knew I was different, and I had to just come to terms with myself. You know what I mean? And then the second that I came out at 17, I was a fucking rager. You couldn't put me back in the box. I was like liberated myself.
Yeah. There was a couple of people in my life when I was a teenager that kind of suppressed, like they were all very extroverts. And now I look back on it and it was a form of bullying because I don't like a mixture of bullying and protectivism, but protectivism. Don't know if that's a word.
It is now.
But there were so many things. I couldn't go on a date without. I remember this one instead of being out on a date once and like getting text message and being like, "Why are you out on a date with him?" And I was like, how do you know where I am? Why do you even care? You know what I mean?
Friends or family?
Family. And I remember when I was leaving for London, he turned around and he said to me, "You'll be back in 2 weeks." And I was like, I won't. And then every time I would come back and say, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I remember the first time that I got shot for Another Man by Nick Knight and styled by, oh my God, I've forgotten his name. That's going to kill me.
Don't worry, we'll beep it out.
Anyway, I'm going to say that story again. Repeat. I got shot by Nick Knight for Another Man magazine. I was like, I'm being shot. He was like, you look incredible. Like all these amazing people were telling me like, you look like this person, you look like that. Oh my God, you really can model. Oh my God. And I remember going back and telling all my friends. Like,
why did you lie?
And they were just like, who's that? Who's Nick Knight?
No, I just said, did you go back to Nick Knight and look at these old photos and go, why did you lie to me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can take a look back, look at my old face.
No, but it's crazy that those are those pinnacle moments that you go, fuck yeah, I did that. I fucking did that.
There was no, like, people in my life then, it was very, it was a bit put down, you know what I mean? You'd have to
Yeah.
be put down for any success or anything you wanted to do. If you had a dream or whatever, you suppressed. And then when I
Yeah.
moved to London and found people that were celebratory of you and being like, any dream is possible, bigger dream or better. And the people really celebrated you. And it was really, that was the time that I really started to shine then and really come out of myself because
Yeah.
I wasn't afraid, and I wasn't afraid to be actually the little boy that was dancing in his room was able to be
Come
himself
out.
and actually come out and do those things instead of locking the door, literally.
Yeah, that's interesting because obviously the podcast, what's loss got to do with it? That is, I feel like that's a loss that we haven't really explored. That loss of chains that you get placed under from growing up in one place, and
Yeah.
the restrictions, the loosening of restrictions that you put on yourself as a
Yeah.
person, and you put those restrictions on generally because of how other people perceive you and what other people's ideas are for you,
Yep.
and you broke free of that.
Honestly, I do go in and out of spells, but I have to say, because you're always, I think it is a social media thing as well, because you're always
Yeah.
afraid of, I'm afraid of failure, 100% afraid of failure, and I'm afraid of putting things up, and it is a social media thing of being like, you put things up, and it doesn't get any traction, so you're a failure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind
Yeah.
of, and so I stopped it for a bit because I was just like, I want to forget about that. I want to do things that I enjoy and that I don't need to I don't feel like I need to share what I get up and have for breakfast at the minute.
No, that
And
is not a
I'm
money.
not poo-pooing anybody that does. You do what you
You do
enjoy.
you,
If you
boo.
love it, and you do you, like
Yeah.
100%. Maybe I'm just in a point in my life that I'm just like, I don't want that right now.
Yeah. But the reality is,
I'm
like,
happy with that loss. I'm happy with that
yeah,
loss.
I think that's a great. I think it's fabulous, guys. I'm feeling the same thing. I go now, I put my things up that I need to do. But then I'm
Yeah.
like, at some point, I'm like, I love the connectivity that social media brings, and I love that it means that we can share our art and the things. There's great things about it. The thing that really just irks me is the fact that we are now, like, you know what, you watch those Black Mirror episodes where they go up and they like something, they click on the button on someone's chest and go, the fact that we
Yeah.
value those numbers so much rather than the integrity of a person and the work ethic and all the other facets of a human
The
being. You
human
look at the
parts of them.
numbers and you see
Yeah.
some of these bastards that like have millions of followers, hundreds of thousands or whatever, and they're just not nice people.
No, and they're not like the personality that you see on camera is not the personality
That you
that there's no
meet.
activity. There's no when you meet them or whatever. Oh, and also you can have a nice conversation with them, but there has been indications where I've met people where it's just ingenuine. And it's
Yeah.
just a 2 minute conversation, and it feels like it doesn't feel like a conversation. It feels like a transaction.
Yeah, and then it always leads up to a photo or something so that it has to be posted that you
Oh,
were together.
a
And
literal transaction of being like, what am I getting out of the end of this, and who's getting out of it? Because if they're bigger than you and they don't want to take the photograph, the transaction is for me to grow my follow whatever. And it's just
I hate it.
that's a
The
bit much.
commodification, yeah, it's a commodification, and the I don't know, it just makes you feel less of a person. I don't know. That's why
Yeah.
I don't know. Before you did Drag Race, did you like host for American girls that came over and work with the other Drag Race girls?
Yeah, so I worked with Jodie a lot at room service, and she would always have. Actually, our flat ended up being my flat when I had ended up being the point of contact for. I was after the club, but whenever we would host the American Girl, that all I'd really like one of us would all me or my other flatmate would always be if we were one of us was in bed, you would be a knock at the door at 4 a.m. being like, "Detox is here," or
Oh, the
you
party's
know,
on.
come on. You need to
She
get
did.
up. You need to get up. You need to
Yeah.
we need to host it.
Yeah, that Detox is a fucking superstar, though. I have to say.
Oh, listen,
What a bitch! She is such a legend.
she is such a mega legend, and honestly, one of the genuine people. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel you have a
Yeah.
beautiful conversation with her. There's no pretense. She's just a wonderful human being.
Yeah, I've got all the time in the world for Detox, I tell
Me
you.
too.
But I just when you mentioned that, I had to say it. I just
No,
love
we
her.
have to.
I love her.
Love.
I love her. But when I'd meet those girls, like there was always like because I used to host them a lot when they came. There was always this.
Yeah.
I felt like there was this expectation of me that I had to get a photo with them to like
Yeah,
post,
right.
and I would always feel so uncomfortable asking for a photo.
And I still do. I still do.
Me too.
With anybody, there is a few people that I know, and I like them as genuine people. I do, like, and they're some of them are very big pop stars,
Yeah.
and I don't care about getting a photograph of them because I would rather have
A friendship.
I'd want to be able to walk up and have a conversation with them, and them not be afraid of me asking for a photograph or me. I want them to know that I'm just like, I respect you as an artist, and I also would rather have your time to have a conversation to see how you are and like what's going on, rather than
Yeah.
get a picture for everyone to like and comment under and be like, wow, it's amazing this
Oh,
person.
look who I was hanging out with. Oh, no, no.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'm so glad you feel the same because I struggle every single time. I just the idea of me asking for a photo from someone makes me want to die inside.
There's a time and a place. I feel like there's a time and a place.
Yeah, there
I feel
is,
like
of
there's a
course.
time and a for that situation, or if you're going to perform with them, or if you're going to, I think that is fine. If it's a
Yeah.
work sort of thing,
I think maybe it just comes out to the fact that I think we do value that time with someone. And I don't need to commemorate a time spent with someone with a photo to say that I did that. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I feel fulfilled by having sat down, we got a beverage, we chatted, we had a gay time. And that for me is more than a photo could ever be.
Because it's a memory as well, isn't it? Like you're always going to have that memory and that time. And I agree. You end up with a human connection and a lifetime memory, as opposed to just having a photograph that is just a walk up. Hi, can I have a photograph? Run away.
Yeah, that gets lost in the algorithm. And that may not perform, that we might get 2 likes
may
on.
Perform for me, photograph. Perform for me.
I can just see you just radiating. You're glowing.
Yeah,
It could be a beautiful light too.
I think it's because I don't feel burnt. I think at the end of last year, I felt burnt out
Yeah.
emotionally, physically. Like I've really been taking the time. And also there was a time, I don't know if whether you say, I've been using the gym quite a lot and I've been looking after myself. And I finally felt confident enough to put a little picture up. Did I get torn down? Your AI. About 1 million. There's a full Reddit.
We'll take that as
there's a full Reddit thread on you. No, and I was just
need to take that as a compliment. Like your body's looking that good that they think you're AI.
But the people being like, oh no, she actually should be doing this. Like her body's not that good. That she should be doing this. And I'm just like, give me a break. Give me a break.
Fuck off.
Why I'm happy with myself. Why can't you just be happy for the fact that I'm happy?
You know what, Jonbers, at the end of the day, there's at least 10 people out there fapping to that little photo that you put out there. So just keep that in mind, okay?
Yes.
You know? They read it, but the people fapping are fapping. So
yeah, fap away, bitch.
And they were like, oh, I want to find her 4-leaf clover. You know what I mean? Oh, Jonbers. But we're coming to the end of our time together, which is sad. But I want to ask, I've been asking everyone, because we've touched on a few different things that I think you've lost of the chains of the craziness of family and all that drama. From the things that you've lost, what is something that you've found? And do you have any advice for people that are going through times that may be a little bit challenging?
I think I finally found the reason not to give a shit about what other people think. And genuinely do what I want to do. And I know that, again, I can go in and out of it, but as long as I sit and think to myself, that's why I don't really, I'll have meetings and stuff where like, random people will tell me, you should be posting more on your Instagram. You should be doing this. I'm like, what about what I want? Like, I'm fine and I'm happy enough. Obviously it's my job, but I'll do it in my own time. And it's finding the peace of doing what I want and being like, I always feel like I'm definitely a people pleaser at time, and I'll choose things because I'll think people will like that, as opposed to doing things what I want to share or what I want to do. You know what I mean? Even looking back on Drag Race, the outfits, challenges, making choices of doing things that I'm like, I'll do it because I think the audience will like that, as opposed to doing what I want. And that is nobody's fault but my own. You know what I mean? And I think I'm finally at a place where I'm just like, this is an analogy I wrote down the other day. I feel like when I wake up in the morning and I look to my right and I look to my left and there's a sign to be like, is this going to be a good day or is it going to be a bad day? And for a really long time, I would always choose the left. You know what I mean? I'm like looking at these paths because do I want to make other people happy and make myself happy? And I finally think I'm like going down the path of I'm going to do what I want to do. And whether that connects, it might connect to 100 people. It might connect to one person in a room of 100.
All right, Gaga. She's
But you know
come
what
out
I mean?
about, yeah. No,
Like,
I do. I do.
I
I think
kind of, and I think that's where it comes from. I'm like, where I've been like, no, I'm not going to do that gig, or I'm not going to do that, or instead of taking money for something, I'd rather sit at home and
yeah.
do something that I paint.
But,
Really enjoying painting.
but knowing that you valued yourself. Oh, you're
Yeah, but
painting.
knowing that I value myself, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Jonbers, that's beautiful. I love that. I think that's really
So I think
important for
that's
people to
where
take
it
away
comes
because I
from.
think people forget because we're in a people-pleasing world these days. Everything's to feed the beast.
Yeah, yeah. Feed the beast, feed the beast.
Was
Oh,
Blonde, you are one
oh,
of
I
the
love you
most.
very much. I miss you. Are you
I
coming
love it with you.
anytime soon?
Hopefully, I'm planning something special. Yeah, I can't say too much. It's in early stages, but it's not
Ooh,
just with me. Hopefully, it's with someone that I'm very closely related to. So I can't say any
gotcha.
more. I can't say any more.
No, really?
But I'm very excited to hopefully bring someone that I am related to the UK. I
Oh,
don't know why
okay.
I'm spilling too much tea. I can't. It's all
No.
early days. It's all early days. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get there. But I do love and I miss you. And I just thankful that you've been here and shared your story and your wisdom. But I'm also so glad to see you just glowing. You look just so happy and gorgeous.
You too. I love you very much. Thank you so much for having
Um,
me. And it's been really nice just to have
let's chat.
it feels like one of our
Our
Skylands.
bus chats. Yeah, it does. But Jonbers Blonde, where can the people find you? Where do you want me to direct the listeners?
You can find me on my Instagram, which I barely use right now.
Yeah.
I finally, I've had an awakening of the spirit
Yeah.
of things that I'm doing, things that I'm working on. And you can find me at Jonbers Blonde,
Beautiful.
Jonbers Blonde on Instagram. On Spotify, you can find me on Spotify.
I
Listen
go
to my
listen to her music. Love it.
and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Send
Well,
me
if
a
you
hate
like,
mail.
yeah, yeah. No, send her paintings.
What nudes? I want
Oh
nude
yeah,
paintings.
send nudes. And if you have been fapping to Jonbers Blonde's thirst traps, please let us know because I think that is just really important for community awareness. Oh, Jumpy, I love you and thank you for joining us on
Okay.
What's Lost Got to Do with It. I love you and I'll see you soon.
Love you. Bye,
Love
my
you.
love.
All right, we'll be back after this, everyone. Welcome back, everybody. Oh my God, Jonbers Blonde, what an absolutely sensational diva. That bitch, she just goes. I thought I was getting interviewed at 1 second. I was like, how did this all happen? She really just, I don't know, she just got this infectious personality that just is warm, inviting, and comforting, and and just so wise. And I think that's the thing that when you watch people on reality TV, sometimes those things don't always cross over. I think you saw elements of that with Jonbers, but I think the Jonbers that I got to know and love very much is still out there for the taking. So any reality TV shows or other TV shows that want to get on board with our beautiful Jonbers Blonde, go pick her up because she is a sensational talent. And I love her journey through drag and her history and how she got into fashion, working with Let's Go. These stories, bitch, these stories. But you know what? That always happens to drag queens. Somehow we always find us in weird places. But thank you, Jonbers. Make sure you go and look up Jonbers. I know she's on a sabbatical sort of from the Instagrams, but go send her some love. I think that is absolutely fabulous. Thank you, Jonbers. I love you. My loves, at the end of the show, I like to wrap up with a nice healing hands message from Little Hands, my beautiful healing hands, as I have a certificate one in Reiki, and I feel that I have the ability to heal people. And I posted our little thing on Instagram, but I posted it too late and no one's replied. After the conversation we had today with Jonbers, I am not commodifying Instagram like that. I understand its benefits as a platform, but I am going to partake my own little bit of wisdom, and that is make sure you value yourself, not by the standards that are placed upon you by social media, but the standards of how you act and how you be as a human being in the world on a day-to-day basis. You can have your ups, you can have your downs, you can have your flaws, you can have mistakes, you can do all of that kind of stuff. That's what makes us human. But fundamentally, I just want you to go out there and just live your life as best as you can in whatever circumstance you can, and just do things the best that you can and just be a good person, and don't put so much value on it. Don't put so much value on those social worlds. Yes, they do become the town square these days of people, but really what matters is when you're face to face with another human being and how you interact. So go forth, my friends, and conquer and be fabulous and just do the things that you need to do in your life that makes you happy. Try and avoid throwing judgment at other people, because I'm guilty of that. I'll look at some people and I'm like, why are you doing that? But you know what? Fundamentally, if that's what they need to do in their life, go off, sis. Pop off, mama. I don't know. Hopefully that gives you a bit of advice. I try to dive deep into my font of knowledge. I feel like I always come back to the same thing at the end of every episode when I don't get a healing hands message. It's just to be a good person. But hey, the message needs to be shared out there. I love you all. Thank you for listening again to another episode of What's Lost Got to Do with It. You're angels. If you've made it to the end, thank you. I'm going to give you extra love because you made it to the end. Thank you so much. Enjoy yourself. Have a great time with whatever you're doing and do it safely. But I'll see you again very soon on another episode of What's Lost Got to Do with It. Love you guys. Bye.